alive back with another one, man. And we're going to get right off into this, man. I think Wemby is straight humiliating Chet. When they first came into the league, they seemed like they were kind of evenly matched. You know what I mean? Like it was going to be a real rivalry going on. Them two were going to go back and forth for years. You know what I mean? And now it's a clear one-sided beef and one-sided rivalry because there is no matchup there. And I think, like, if you watch the games, every time Wemby scores or dunks on Chet or blocks him, you can just see the life drain out of Chet and on his face and shit. He just goes like. But man, we're gonna get right off into this, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's do it.
Non, effectivement, c'est pas le cas. En tout cas, sportivement, non. Y a pas photo.
For all of my people who don't speak French, firstly, what are you doing? Duolingo's free. You haven't started learning French to glaze Wemby in his native language? Dégoûtante. He said he was insulted that you compared me, Victor Wembanyama, to that guy, that durag wearing, oxtail eating, night elf looking, pink singlet wearing fraud. Wemby rocked up to the playoffs looking like this, and Chet looked like this. It was over before it even started.
That is really,
Look,
is that a real picture? That's a real picture. That's what he wore there. There's no way. There is no fucking way. Oh my God, I would have beat him up in high school.
It was over before it
I would have beat the fuck out of him in high school.
Started. Look, I got nothing wrong with the color pink. I got nothing wrong with the man wearing pink. But you gotta know your color palette. Apparently Chet thinks this is his color. Take it from a man that can't wear pink either. Leave that to the Haley Van Liths and the Paige Beckers. You're not a baddie like these girls. But whilst Wemby was rocking up in a suit and bringing a book, whilst one of these guys is teaching the kids of San Antonio how to read, they are having reading campaigns centered around Wemby. The other guy, well...
Another reason I also love these books is I dropped out of college, so too many words on the page kind of hurts my brain.
Well, if he's not going to read any science fiction novels like Wemby, he needs to at least pick up a book on how to read defensive coverage.
He said, okay, I'm a high school dropout, and I can read just fine. He just said I had to drop out of college because too many words on a page hurts my brain. So are you dyslexic then? Is he dyslexic? Because isn't that kind of what dyslexia is? It hurts their brain so much and like makes their brain kind of like mix up the words and shit, mix up the letters to where they don't know what the fuck they're saying and shit. They're reading shit that don't make sense. I don't know.
Because this is the Thunder's second option. This is an all-NBA player. 8 points, 13 points, 14 points, 10 points. Wemby had more points in the first quarter of Game 4 than Chet had in the entire game. And this is supposed to be a rivalry.
Yeah, it's one-sided.
This is what people were calling a rivalry. This is who OKC fans were saying was going to stop Wemby? This guy! He's over there picking his nose on the bench. Meanwhile, Wemby is out there playing horse against one of the best defenses of all time. Look at him, he tried to throw it off the backboard. And I know what you're gonna say, you're glazing a miss. He didn't even make the shot. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And this time he did. Because how about here where he pump fakes Chet, drives around McCain, throwing it off the backboard, and whilst Chet is looking at the OnlyFans girls in the crowd, Wemby is there to get the board and put it back in.
Wild.
Let me say it again. This guy is doing things you do in the All-Star game in the Western Conference.
I've seen, like, dude, there's only a few people I've ever watched do that shit, and Kobe did it a whole bunch of times, where he would pump fake, spin, and then like shoot it off the backboard and then grab the board himself and then go back in and like lay it in or dunk it or something. And I've seen Wemby do that a whole bunch.
Conference finals against the best team in the NBA. And you had the audacity to compare him to Chet and Yahoo? Cheddar cheese? And the Spurs realized something in Game 4 of this series. They realized Victor Wembanyama is 7'5" tall. Don't tell anyone, it's a secret.
He's a
And
monster.
he's so close to the basket that you can just throw it up there. Like he did with that self alley-oop, and he's gonna get it. The Spurs realized, wait, we could actually just throw it up there. Like here where Fox does that. And even though Wemby doesn't get it on the first attempt, he's there to put it back on the second
It's
attempt.
wild, bro.
Or this time. I don't care if two guys are trying to...
We've never seen anybody be able to do the thing. Like, what, Manute Bull was probably the closest person to his height, right? Because what, Manute Bull was like 7'6" also? Because Wemby's at least 7'6". Because he was 7'4" when he came into the league. He has grown several inches since then. But Manute Bull was like, what, 7'6" too? But Manute Bull was more like a traditional center. He was kind of slow, didn't really dribble a whole lot. I don't think he could really shoot all that well. Like, he was not doing what Wemby's doing.
Stop him, they can't. All they can do is foul him when you throw it up there. Or again, this time where Shea is all over him. Like I said, it does not matter. Just throw it up there. They are either going to foul him, and he's still going to put it in, or they're going to foul him.
See, on the run, there's other people who can get to this ball. Like, if they were running down court at full speed, there's other players that could get to that ball where it was. But where they are vertically, there's nobody in that paint jumping and grabbing the ball with Victor. There's just not. Nobody's grabbing that. Look how far Chet's hand, or not Chet, but Shea's hand is away from Victor. It's at his elbow. Nobody's grabbing that shit.
They are either going to foul him, and he's still going to put it in, or they're going to foul him, and he's going to get to the free throw line, where despite being 7'5" tall, he shoots 95% from the line because he's the future GOAT. Okay, chill.
Well, I think it's probably pretty easy. Like, I've always never understood this about the big players. Like, how do y'all shoot like dog shit? Like, y'all are so high and so close to the rim. Because, like, that was one thing I was always really good at, was shooting free throws. Like, even as like a kid and shit in junior high, like I would shoot hella free throws, and I was really good at shooting free throws, and I was short. So like, if I was taller and had longer arms and was more level with the rim, that would be way easier for me.
Chill. But he does. Just don't let Keldon throw that lob. Just don't let Keldon do anything on the court right now. I'm sorry. He was a good guy. He still is a good guy. But this is how the Spurs have been getting Wemby more easy buckets, in addition to the things he is doing that makes no sense.
Wembanyama, I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go from midcourt.
And this is
Hitting
how a
Dwayne
guy who's
Wade
apparently
and
unpolished is
Kobe
giving
type
one of the
stuff.
best defenses of all
Hitting Kobe and Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan type shots, bro.
time, 30 points a night. Meanwhile, the MVP of the league was asked about how the Thunder could get Chet more involved on offense, like the Spurs have been doing with Wemby.
Just what are some things you think you can do to help get Chet a little bit more involved offensively?
Yeah,
Just say anything, Shay. Anything. Maybe we could get him some touches.
He doesn't know because he's trying to think, like, how do I get Chet more offense with Wemby down there? And there's just nothing there's nothing Chet could do with Wemby down there. Nothing. Nothing at all.
At the elbow. Maybe we could get him a couple of cross matches and post him up. Say anything, Shay. No. You know when your mum used to tell you as a kid, don't say anything if you've got nothing good to say? Shout out to Shay's parents, because clearly good, because he had nothing good to say about Chet. He couldn't even come up with a lie for that situation. This is the same guy who turns into Drake when he wants to write an Instagram caption. The same guy who says the game comes easy, apparently doesn't come easy when trying to find Chet Holmgren some offense. And I don't blame him, because for all of the things Shea has said these playoffs that could come off as cringy, this is the most realistic moment we have seen from Shea.
Or when he asked, like, I gotta respect, the one thing I respect about Shea compared to a lot of the other Oklahoma City players is Shea's not a dirty player. He's not the one out there fouling people, like pulling people by their dreads and pulling on Wemby's arms and stepping on Wemby's feet. That's Chet and Lou Dort and Hartenstein that are doing that shit. I'll give it to Shea for when they asked how was Hartenstein's like, how was his play tonight? Like, how was it? And he said, I don't think it was good. Like, it was the night that he was just fouling the fuck out of Wemby and pulling Wemby's arms from behind him and shit, and literally all kinds of stuff.
Most human he's ever been. Yeah, I get it, Shea. Because he is supposed to be your All-NBA teammate, and he is getting outscored by Jared McCain and Alex Caruso, neither of which are even starting for the Thunder. And this is why Wemby said what he said. This is why Wemby has such a hatred for Chet.
Yeah, he
Holmgren,
hates him.
because you're comparing possibly the greatest player of all time to a guy who can't give you more than 10 points in a crucial game without their second option. This is like comparing LeBron James to Paul Millsap and Al Horford. This is like comparing Jessica Alba to Sydney Sweeney. There are levels to this game.
Yeah,
okay,
facts.
Maybe Chet Holmgren, Sydney Sweeney is a bit lofty. But it's like comparing Jessica Alba to Miss Minnesota. No disrespect, I'm sure she's a lovely woman, but like I said, there's levels to this game. And quite honestly, you know what? I'm done with these Chet versus Wemby conversations. I'm done with this rivalry. Because Wemby FC...
it was only a rivalry once before they came into the NBA. Once they came into the NBA, the skill level became very clear very quickly who was the better player and who was going to dominate. And then the rivalry kind of disappeared, and it just became one-sided, and it was Wemby just straight hating Chet. And you could see that he was just scared of Wemby. You could see that he's scared of Wemby when they play.
French contingent, the French Revolution, all of us at Wemby FC, we've moved on from this. We're moving on to bigger things. And you know who we need to talk about? We need to talk of the actual rivalry in this series. The two-time MVP, a man who was crowned the MVP in Game 1 of the playoffs, and Wemby went out in that same game and outplayed him. And has since outplayed him again and again.
Even on his bad games.
Right now, we are looking at a guy who was the best player in the NBA versus a guy who was voted the best player in the NBA. And to be honest, it hasn't been close at all. Because for a guy who was supposed to be a defensive specialist, Wemby has been better offensively, obviously better defensively, and the Spurs have been significantly better with him on the floor, with them being plus 50 against the Thunder so far with Wemby on the floor, and not so good without him on the floor. Can we get the nuns on the plane? Can we make that arrangement? Because Luke Cornett actually looked good for the first time all series.
Yeah, I said that too. I said Luke Cornett is their one weak point. Like, no disrespect to Luke Cornett, but like he played really good Game 6. But like other than Game 6 and the non-Wemby minutes, they struggle with Luke Cornett out there. They do. If they had a better backup center, I think this series would have been over in 5.
But this is where I need to give credit to more than just Wemby, because whilst he is the best player in the NBA, there is a reason he's outplaying Shea. And it's not just because of how good he is, but it's because of how good Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell have been defensively. Yeah. Because after games 2 and game 3, in which the Spurs came out with a game plan that was centered around
They've been
not
great
letting
defense.
SGA beat them. Instead, giving up wide open shots to Jalen Williams, Jared McCain, and the rest of the Thunder role players, they realized if those guys are going to hit every single one of those shots, well, they needed a new strategy.
Yeah.
And Thunder fans were telling the entire world that
you want to leave those guys out on an island against Shea? He's going to go off for 50 a night.
Well, they did exactly that, and Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell held him the MVP.
You can't forget about Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, though. Carter Bryant has been playing great fucking defense on Shea all series.
The greatest scorer of all time to a measly 16 points, playing elite defense. And this kind of defense is just the stuff of nightmares to see. Because watch here where Shea is being guarded by Castle initially. He switches onto Vassell, and then he finally gets the switch he wants onto the best defender in the league who moves his feet and contests the shot.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire game, just the physicality, the willingness, the toughness from Bell and Stephon Castle, who, by the way, before the match, rest in peace to his grandmother.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
Who had passed away and still came out and performed at that level. I mean, that takes
That's
a lot of
insane.
courage and a lot of
Like Michael Jordan had to do when his dad died and shit.
determination. So shout out to Stephon Castle for more
Wild.
ways than one. The way those guys were guarding SGA, I mean, they were so good. Thunder fans were crying about the referees. Because if we go back to game 2, and if you remember what Isaiah Hartenstein was doing against Wemby,
Yeah.
and how everyone was calling out the Thunder for this physical kind of defense, Thunder fans came out and said, it's physical. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Play ball. You want physicality until it actually hits you in the mouth. Okay, well, the Spurs decided we can play physical as
Yeah.
well. And apparently Thunder fans didn't like that.
How are we going to get any offense when Castle and Harper are doing WWE tag team on Shea? LMFA.
They literally just in the first couple games, the physical ball was fine when it was them doing it, but as soon as it's the other way around, they start complaining about it. That's the wild shit.
Oh, yeah, don't run now. Don't run now. You were saying you wanted physical basketball. I mean, look at De'Aaron Fox on this play where he basically clotheslined Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Barely touched him. This is
No,
not a
you don't-
foul. We went over this play in a different video. This is not a foul.
Understand, guys. The reason Shea falls so much is because he's protecting himself. They even got Shea clones out in China.
Wild.
It's gone global. It's gone global. Shout out to my Chinese guys out
That's
there.
fucking
And
hilarious.
even Lou Dort had to try his own version of this as well. And because he doesn't get the ball enough, he had to find a different way to do this. And you know what Thunder fans were saying about this? Please take a guess. Did Harrison Barnes just throw his shoulder into Lou Dort's knees when he got him to jump on the pump fake? This is mass sake shoulder in to do this as well. And because he doesn't get the ball enough, he had to find a different way to do this.
Okay, I don't think he was flopping or he honestly jumped into him and lost his balance here. I don't think he did this on purpose. And I don't think Harrison Barnes threw his shoulder or anything either. I think this is a clean play on both sides. I think this should be play on.
Do you know what Thunder fans were saying about this? Please take a guess. Did Harrison Barnes just throw his shoulder into Lou Dort's knees when he got him to jump on the
Okay,
pump?
that is a defensive foul for sure. But like that's definitely not like a dirty play. I don't think Lou Dort was flopping. I don't think Harrison Barnes tried to hit him. I think he just was trying to go for the ball.
Fake? This is mass psychosis.
Yeah.
All I can say is check ball. Let's keep it physical. If both sides are going to play with physicality, I got no complaints. This series has been great. Let's keep it going.
Facts. Man, let me know what y'all think below, man. It's still live checking out. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, y'all.